Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports, Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over a basketball game for Saturday, November 27th, 2021. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know I'm picking this game, you have to join my Patreon. My picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get to the game. We're going to be looking at the Phoenix Suns versus the Brooklyn Nets. The way that I have this structured here is I have my daily numbers on this side of the screen, my date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. The way that I have it structured here is the away team is up top, their coach's record, their season record, any type of notes I want to add, such as playing tomorrow or playing yesterday, any type of win or losing streak that they may be on. In the middle here is the head-to-head record between the two teams, all time and for the season. And then at the bottom is the home team, their season record, their coach's record, and any other notes that I want to add, if any. So let's look at the Suns versus the Nets. The Suns are on a 15-game winning streak, so we're going to see if we can time out whether Suns are going to continue on their winning streak or if they end their 15-game winning streak here tonight against the Nets. We're going to look at both sides and what can help win and or lose. So let's start with the home team. We always start with the home team first, and then we'll go over the numbers for the away team. So let's look at what's going to help the Nets win this game. But before we get into that, we got to look at why the Suns won yesterday's game. I have those notes up here. I picked the Suns to beat the Knicks yesterday, and I did it specifically because of the Hebrew calendar. If we go to yesterday's date numerology, yesterday was the 81st day of the Hebrew civil calendar, a day with 164 date numerology on it. The words Phoenix Suns sums to 164 and 133. And yesterday's game was the 133rd all-time head-to-head matchup between the Suns and the Knicks. It was also the Suns' coach's 164th regular season game as a coach for the Suns, and the Suns became 8-1, like 81, for a road record with the win. Again, 81st day of the Hebrew Civil, a day with 164 date numerology. Phoenix Suns sums to 164. It was the 164th game for the coach. They become 8-1, like 81. Seems pretty straightforward. But if we bring that same, I guess, decoding into today's game against the Nets, what would favor the Nets to win this game would be the same exact pattern. It would be now today, the 82nd day of the Hebrew civil calendar, a day with 165 date numerology. This will be the Suns coach's 165th regular season game as a coach for the Suns, and the Suns can lose and become 8-2, like 82, on the road with a loss. Today is a day with 16 date numerology on the Gregorian, and instead of Suns getting their 16th win in a row, they can go ahead and sit on 16 wins for the season and get their fourth loss and become 16-4. Just shows you this number. Phoenix Suns sums to 16-4 or 164. Yesterday had 164 date numerology on the Hebrew Civil. The 81st day, Suns coach on his 164th game, Suns become 8-1. And so they can follow that same thing today, become 8-2, as they become 16-4 for a season record with a loss like 164. Phoenix Suns sums to 164. They would be playing against the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, if I can spell it correctly. Brooklyn Nets sums to 64. And this could be where the Suns coach gets a 64th regular season loss as a coach for the Suns, as the Suns become 16-4, 8-2 on the road. There's potential there. Suns would end their 15-game winning streak as the Nets get their 47th all-time head-to-head win against the Suns, 47, the 15th prime number, as the Nets get their 15th win for the season. So it could be a 15 thing going on. And this is the Suns' 10th away game. This is the Nets' 10th home game. The Nets coach can sit on 29 losses regular season with a win, 29 the 10th prime number, as the Nets become 1-0 head-to-head against the Suns for the season, like 10. So those would be the numbers for the Nets to win this game. It would be the Suns following the Hebrew calendar the second day in a row, mixed in with a bunch of other stuff. Now, if we were going to look at Suns to win this game and continue on with their winning streak, it might be a little bit tougher to grasp, but there are some numbers here for it to happen. If Suns were going to win this game and get their 16th win in a row, we could just say, hey, there's 16 date numerology. So instead of Suns sitting on 16 wins for the season, maybe they just get their 16th win in a row. If we type in the number 16, we see that number 16 sums to 93. And this will be the 93rd all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. Today not only has 16 date numerology, but it has 43 date numerology. 43, the 14th prime number. Nets could sit on 14 wins for the season with a loss as the Suns get their 16th win in a row. Today has 16, 43, and 59 date numerology on the Gregorian. 59 is the 17th prime number. The Suns can go from 16 to 17 wins for the season as they get their 16th win in a row. This will be the Suns coach's 559th regular season game for his career, which looks like a 59. 59, the 17th prime number. Suns can get their 17th win for the season. Some potential there. And speaking of Brooklyn Nets summing to 64, Brooklyn Nets summing to 64. Suns coach, he could get a 64th loss as a coach for Suns regular season, or the Nets can simply just become 6-4 at home for the season, like 64 with the loss. And one last thing on the calendar that I completely made up, the Gregorian religious side of the calendar. I barely use this calendar, but I do keep track of it. It is the 27th day of the 5th month on this calendar, like 527 or 275. And even though I completely made this up, the Suns coach could get his 275th win regular season for his career. 275, 527, 527, 275, 275. So there are some numbers here for the Suns to continue on with their winning streak. It might be hard to back it a little bit just because, you know, Nets have some good numbers. I mean, the pattern for the Hebrew calendar for the Suns becoming 8-1. Now they could become 8-2 on the 82nd day. They could become 16-4, which is their name, Gematria. That's a pretty good weight against them. But they do have that 17 in their favor. They do have potentially the 16. Nets could sit on that 14. They could become 6-4 at home. And who knows, maybe the calendar I completely made up comes through and they get their 275th win, or the coach does, in his 559th game, which looks like a 59, the 17th prime number. So hopefully this helps. I wish you guys the best of luck on your pick. And thank you for watching. I appreciate the support.